Hey everybody, it is time for me to do another build. I was looking for a machine for the next giveaway, so I ordered this Flsun Plus, which is basically a i3 big. It's like a 20 by 20 by 30 build area. But I'm struggling a little bit because the instructions that came with it don't even match the machine I got. So I'm not sure it's going to be suitable for our giveaway. I'm not saying it's not, but right now I'm not even sure how to put it together. Like I said, the instructions that came with are not even they don't even correlate to the actual machine. So trying to figure out what I should be using and what I shouldn't be using is kind of a kind of a problem. It came with a lot of parts, bags and bags of screws, and really no description of what to do with it. So like I said, I was going to do a build video, but I don't really know. So far all I've got going is I've got the bearings put in place, and I'm going to start working on the screws and mount it in. We're just going to get it all set up, I guess. But anyway, so the Flsun i3 Plus that I got from GearBest on paper looked like a really good machine. But man, these instructions are bad. What are you guys all up to today? Who's here? I see somebody. You guys building machines or printing anything? Oh. I'm excited to get this one running. Oh, hey Josh, what's going on, man? You don't speak Chinese, do you? All the instructions are in Chinese, and they're not even the right machine. So this is going to be a fun build because it's going to take some time to get it right. Interestingly enough, it's got oh geez, we've got all these parts. I've been working it out. It's got like 3 choices of nozzles. This is I think this is called the Cyclops. But it also has a dual nozzle setup and a single E3 V6 clone. And then it's got this gigantic heated bed. All these parts. Should be a pretty interesting project. I don't even know. I don't even know. The instructions that came with are just terrible though, so I'm not sure we'll be giving one of these away. I need my people to be able to build it. So I'm gonna need to print like a real phone holder is what I need to print. How's that Ultimaker working, Josh? That turned out to be the machine we thought it would be yet. I'll tell you what else not to buy. I got a Microsoft Surface a while ago, and it's the RT version. It is just terrible. Just terrible. All right, so moving right along, I've got the bottom tray, and I got the bearings that I showed you. And Josh, notice these are even. Oh yeah? You'll have to send me pics. Even this machine uses zip tie bearings. I thought of you as soon as I saw that. I was like, oh man. But it could be worse, I guess. Anyway, so this is the project I'm working on. And the idea was that we'd give one of these away. Zippies. I just can't believe it. There's a lot of room for somebody to design a LM8 bearing housing that doesn't use a zip tie. I'm sure there's some 3D printed versions, but it drives me nuts too. But it works. I mean, I don't know. I haven't designed anything better, so I guess I shouldn't knock it. Anyway, yeah, just trying to get these instructions to work, and they're not working. No, it's pretty stable. I cranked them down pretty good. I could probably even get them down a little tighter, but pretty stable, pretty stiff. I think they'll work. for now. I mean, just like every Chinese machine, I imagine I'll be changing quite a few components over time, and getting it lined up the right way is going to be a problem. This 80-20 is pretty good, but the 80-20 coming from China actually is a little warped in a couple places, surprisingly, so that's interesting. And like I said, the instructions don't even correlate with the actual machine I have. So it's kind of like, well, what do I do here? I need this part. Yeah, it does. It does. There's no getting away from zip ties, Josh. Zip ties are here to stay. They're a mainstay of the industry. M4s with what screws? M410 screws. All right, so I need the M4 screws, and then I need M410s, which are these. All right, so I think this build's going to take a little longer than the Tron XY. It's just a much less polished build guide. It's pretty bad, but I'm excited to have this print volume. Be able to print, like I said, 20 centimeters or 30 by 30 by 40 is what it is, I believe. Pretty good sized. What's everybody up to today? I know what Josh is doing. I see somebody else there, and now there's another one. So put the screws on there. Pretty high tech. Shows I do that right? I think so. Nope, I didn't do it right. I did it backwards. All right, well, I'll take that back out. So, since this one probably isn't suitable, anybody got ideas on what giveaways we should do? You know what? I paid $3.79 for it. Pretty good price for the build volume. And I think after I get it all built, I think I'll be happy with it. I think it's their version of a bigger CR10. You know, everybody's kind of trying to jump onto that Creality. And rightfully so. The Creality is a pretty good low-budget machine, but it's like Flsun's attempt to get a hold of it. They had it on sale, so I grabbed it. I also got another i3 coming in, Chinese i3, so we'll see what happens there. We got more printers. I got a lot of new filament to test out, too. I got a deal with a filament company that sent me some filament to try out. I'll tell you what. Man. All right, so that's done. And then the next piece goes like that. Also 4 of these. No idea what these parts do yet. There is a lot of parts to this machine. It's got dual extruders, and it came with 3 different nozzle types. You can go with a single nozzle. You can go with this 2-to-1. It basically has 2 feed ports that go to 1 nozzle. And then I've got another nozzle that's 2 separate nozzles, and but they're on the same tree. Kind of cool. In fact, I should show you guys that. There's some cool things about it. I think this machine has a lot of potential once I get it built, and I need to find my my 90-degree angle bracket, because doesn't look like the extrusions are perfect, but I haven't tightened anything down either, so just put it all together. Let me show you these nozzles. They're kind of cool. So the first nozzle it came with that I found was just a regular E3 V6 clone, and it actually looks pretty decent. So we'll see what that turns into. And then it came with, let's see, where did I put the other ones? It came with, like I said, this Cyclops nozzle. I think that's what it's called. Basically, it's 2 feed ports feeding into 1 nozzle, and I think it just retracts a little bit. Yeah, they're all metal. There's no PTF tube in it. And then, it came with its own leveling sensor too, so it levels its own bed, so I'll have to go that route as well. And then it has 1 more nozzle, and it's right here somewhere, probably hiding in plain sight. I don't know what I did with it. And then it's got 2 spare tips it's got a couple spare tips. Hey, Skewed View, how you doing, buddy? Just building. Trying to make money. Anyway, there's a 3rd nozzle set up, and I don't know what I did with it. Maybe I moved it. Oh, I did. Okay, so you can set it up this way. You can set this 2-to-1 setup, or you can set it up where it uses 2 different. You can set it up with like a dual nozzle setup like this as well. So kind of cool. You'd have to probably, set an offset and settings. Haven't got that far yet, but it's kind of neat. So there's a better look at it. So you got that method. You got this 2-to-1 method, which I'm really interested in trying. I think that'll be important to make sure your retraction settings are absolutely perfect, because if you're trying to put 2 sections of filament into the same nozzle without enough retraction, I think you're going to get some nasty jams. So especially if you're not using like the same temperature settings. Like if you're using this 2-to-1, it's got to be all ABS or all PLA. If you're using 2, you could do one that's like, your polystyrene or whatever support material with a different temperature, because it has its own spot for a thermistor and a heater cartridge. Or you could just go traditional and run a regular V6. I'm thinking if you wanted to run big builds, and not worry about the nozzle having an offset, you just do 1. But I'm excited to do some 2 color printing and whatnot, so we'll see how that goes. I'll tell you what, this Surface drives me crazy. Probably the worst computer I've ever owned. I bought this RT for like $100. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. All right, so these go on. This is going to be a fun project, but I think it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work. All right, let's take that off and see where that goes. So it's an 80-20 build. Oh, nice job, dude. It's good. You just keep plugging along. Eventually we'll get there, Got to do this for fun. See where you end up. See. Just keep plugging along, man. All right, so it looks like this goes down like this. These instructions are just terrible. I didn't see what you just said. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can bring that up. Don't call me Shirley. Sorry, buddy. I'll try not to. All right. These are the worst instructions of any printer I have ever built. So just know that when you build this, they are really bad. They are really, really bad. All right, we get that roughly in the middle. Tighten these down. Yeah, you know what I think? So it's basically their version of the i3 oversized. They're trying to get into that market. And it was a great price. It's got some really cool things. It may end up being a real good printer. I'm not sure, but the instructions leave a lot to be desired. It did come with, like I said, a bunch of different extruders. And I think that that might be worth it to me alone, just to kind of play with the different extruders and try some different projects and whatnot. Maybe. I don't know for sure. It might be a total flop. But give it a shot, see what it does. What kind of MK3 do you got? A Prusa? Is it actual Prusa? The actual Prusa? When did you pick that up? I'm gonna order one. They're back ordered till March. My friend Josh, who's on here or was on here, he's ordering one as well. Everybody I know just loves those machines, but I built one of the original Prusa rep wraps in 2009, and I've loved it. The guy's just really, really good for the industry and the community, so I like to support him. So I'm gonna pick one up, but I'll wait till they're caught up and not behind on everything. So it looks like a phenomenal machine. Totally happy with it? Any complaints? Did you get a dual extruder version by chance? I like his bed leveling system. Yeah, Tornado's got a good rep. What, Josh? Oh, you just got the single extruder? Yeah. No, everybody I know, I mean, the guy's set the standard. He's really good, and he kept it open source. I'm surprised that he stayed with a 8-bit controller still. I mean, I would have liked to have seen a little bit bigger controller, but I guess if you don't need it, you don't need it. I mean, really, no, I'm not going to argue with Joseph Prusa, you know, so I'm not that dumb. All right, so I got those in. This thing is so bad. These are so bad. The instructions are just so bad. Maybe I need to learn how to speak Chinese. Oh, I gotta read that. I can't see. I cannot get... Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna look at it when I get off of here. Anyone that's watching, you guys need to check out Skewed View 3D's channel. I've looked at it before. He's got some cool stuff on there. Yeah, I'll get on there. I'm just trying to get this build done, but I'll come check it out in a little bit. Yeah, I looked at those TiVo tarantulas. The design is not my favorite, the layout of the frame, and I've shied away from it for that, but I guess I probably should just bite the bullet, and pick one up. It's in the future. Like I said, I was hoping to do this one on a giveaway, but based on the instructions, I think I'm going to go a different direction. How were the instructions on that TiVo, the tarantula? Pretty easy? At least clear? How many hours did it take you to build? Cool. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'll give you some support here. Just tightening up the frame again. The nice thing about 80/20 is it squares up pretty easy as long as the extrusions are straight. Two of my extrusions aren't straight, so might have to make some adjustments, I guess. But it is what it is. Hey, how's it going, Sonic Alchemy? How you doing? All right, so now we're gonna take this tray, and you know what? I know people that get irritated because I don't take the paper off, but somebody who's worked with a lot of acrylic, I leave the paper on for a reason, because it gives you just an added amount of strength when you're putting parts together. So I'm gonna leave the paper on. I might take it off later, but don't yell at me, because I know it drives some of you crazy, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So, and then we take our fancy high-tech bearings, and we're gonna use square nuts on this one too, I'm surprised. So, this thing came with a ridiculous amount of bolts and nuts. That can't be it, because it doesn't fit the 10, so it's got to be something else. It said M4 square nuts and M416. You just have to read the instructions. They did come fairly nicely packaged, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says M416 on there. So we'll just got to read. What's the next purchase for you guys? I think I'm going to pick up a Creality CR10. I did buy another i3 clone from G-Tech, just the base model. Oh, nice. S3D. They had those G-Tech i3 Bs, or was it a C, on sale for like $160. So I picked one up. It's got a heated bed. I was like, man, so it'll be here like any day. So I got that one coming up. I figured I'd build this first before I did a build video. So I might order a second one if I decide it's worth, you know, putting it out there. If it's a horrible machine, I won't advertise it or anything. I don't get paid for it, so I'm not going to do it if it's crap. I have a machine from years ago from 3D Systems called a Cube X. It had a dual extruder, and at the time it was one of the biggest build volumes. It was 12 by 12 by 12. I spent big bucks on it. It was absolute garbage. It's actually buried in my videos. It was nothing but problems, and they ended up pulling out of the industry over it, because it was such a terrible machine. But I think I'm going to order all the parts to retrofit it, just gut it and put all new stuff in it. You know, I bought the Wanhao DLP7, and I haven't been able to get it running. I think mine's got a bad projector. Oh yeah, an A8 would be awesome. They've got good reputation. I know that everybody that does videos with them usually does pretty well, because they've got such a big group. They have a large Facebook group too. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I'll probably end up with one at some point. I mean, what's one more printer when you own 12? I probably should start doing something with my printers. What are you guys doing with your printers on the side when you're not making videos? Yeah, it's a good one. So I just started another video series on this channel. If those of you that are familiar with the old printer bots, with proprietary equipment like the printer boards and that kind of stuff, they were like $500 or $600 to build. But with you know, just modern Chinese cheap stuff, I think you can build one for right around 200 bucks. So, oh, cool, a BB-8, that's cool. You know what, I haven't priced it out completely, Josh, but I think that I'll be able to build them under $200. The printer bot Wallace design is a tried and true design, and I think it leaves a lot of room. I mean, I already started sketching one up that's going to use linear bearings and threaded M8 rod instead of belts for higher degree accuracy. It'll be slower, but it'll be much more accurate, so it's a trade-off. So that's one of the projects. So we got that done. There's the bed now. Moving on. Let's see. Yeah, turn around. Don't do too tightly. M416, M4 square nut, M320. Okay. All right. So now, gotta put these bad boys in. This is the M8 rod. I'm really excited to have a printer of this build volume. I don't have one, so I have one that's 12 by 12 by 12, but like I said, it's absolute garbage. So this turns out being absolute garbage. It's absolute garbage at like 1/10 the price. So there's that. All right, and then, okay, looks simple enough. Putting these little bracket holders on the M8. Sorry, somebody just said something. Yeah, it is. It's the big one. Yeah, I think that's their idea, is to compete with those. Everybody's trying to get a piece of that big build market. So I figured I'd build this one first, and then if it's worth doing, I'll do another one, do a build video on it. But we'll have to see. There's some things I'm not really happy about so far. So it's worth looking at. I'll build it. We'll see what happens. All right, so that's all together. And then crazy. And those go down on the brackets. Huh, interesting. Well, that's the first problem. The rods are too long for the frame. I have to go a little differently. Like I said, the instructions it came with, they aren't for this machine. It's for a machine that's similar. So you kind of have to be willing to adjust everything, because this doesn't fit. That is absolutely crazy. Huh. All right, well. Buyer beware. They don't fit, so might have to use a chop saw. Wonder if I can stretch the frame out. So instruction-wise, I give this a total fail. The instructions are not really good at all. Huh. So the only thing I can think to do, let me show you what's going on here. You know what, I did a video for my Tron XY X1, and I had like 3 hours of video. I've been editing it and editing it and editing it, and then I get bored and I really need to finish it. But these rods are too long for the frame. This is supposed to sit down here. So what I might do is just tighten the frame up on the outside, see if I can stretch it out. That might be what I have to do. Oh, that'll be cool. Make a post about that before you do it so I can watch. I'd be interested in that myself. You know, see, this is the advantage to buying a Prusa just from the factory, because you know what you're going to get. Like, you know you're getting quality, right? And then when you buy like one of these Chinese machines, you never know what you're going to get. Some of them have been good, some have been great. I guess it's been that way for my American machines too. Like I said, that the 3D systems I've had have been the worst machines I've ever had in my life. Yeah. Oh, you bought it assembled? I'll buy kit just because I like to build them, but I'm definitely going to get one. Especially, I hear nothing but good about them, so it only makes sense for me to pick one up. And then my friend Josh is always talking about them, so I probably need to get one. I'll probably buy the dual extruder kit though. Be kind of fun. Like I said, I like to support him. He's done a lot for the community, so I don't have any problem buying his machines at all. I'll tell you who else I really like, which is Lowell's Bot out of Colorado. Those guys have been awesome to deal with. If you've never bought a Lowell's Bot machine, don't hold yourself back. I have one that I bought like 5 years ago. Anytime it has a problem, those guys are awesome. Well, yeah, I know, Josh. We talk about it. No, I want you to get one so I can play with it. That's what needs to happen. Need to get one soon. Everybody's got cooler toys than me these days. So this frame does not line up with the rods the way they say it should. So that's a problem. I don't really even know what to do there. I might have to kind of adjust the frame because it doesn't fit. So basically I have to do this all differently. I'm not sure. I guess I have room. What's the biggest print you've built on your MK3 so far? I want to build some dual color big stuff. That's why I got this. I'll make some big things. Oh yeah, that's cool. Toys, always cool. Yeah, I use that tornado. You happy with it? Would you say? I mean, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your satisfaction with the tornado? TiVo tornado, right? Hey Don, how you doing? German printing nerd. You guys should check him out. He's cool. He's part of our community. How you doing, buddy? Everything going okay? We've been talking about machines. 40% happy. That sounds pretty good for a 3D printer. A lot of my first machines I wasn't very thrilled about. It took me a while. All these kits always take a lot of work. So which one Hoda you got? I bought their resin machine, the DLP7, and I haven't had any time to get it working. I really need to, but I've been busy. I coach wrestling now. I work full time. Just like trying to. Oh yeah, the D9, nice, very cool. We'll do some videos about it so I can watch and see what you think of it, because interested. I bought this as an Flsun. It's a i3 Plus. It's got a huge build volume. It's like 30 by 30 by 40 actually. I was thinking it was 20 by 20 by 30. But so far, the rods don't line up like they're supposed to, so that's kind of making things interesting. So, kind of working on that. Coming down to play with that Ultimaker, Josh. I've got some new plans. I actually found a way to speed up your printing I was going to show you to make it faster on Cura. It's in experimental settings. I don't know if you've already found that. You can actually shut that off and it will go about it the more traditional way, and it speeds up printing like 10-15% typically. So I meant to tell you that. I just haven't had time. All right, so guys, if I'm not satisfied with this printer for the next giveaway, what would you recommend? If you could pick the next printer we're going to draw, because we're going to do one when we hit 1,000, and it's going to be a higher dollar than, of course, the Tron XY-X1. But keep it within reason. I don't want to spend $1,000. I'm thinking anywhere from, I don't know, up to 500 maybe. Maybe a Prusa. Yeah, we were just talking about the Tornado. I could go for that. The CR10 Mini, that would be all right too. X5S, yeah, I've looked at that as well. That's something I was considering. I almost pulled the trigger on that the other day. They had it on sale. I like those big cube printers, the old Darwin style. How many of you guys have built rep wraps? Tornado's better. Tempted to order, so the rumor is that Prusa is going to dump their MKS2s. So I might grab one of those when they come out and give that away. Oh, what kind of rep wrap? I built a Mendel, which I really like. I use it all the time still. I built it with 3mm instead of 1.75, and I use it for parts for my CNC routers. It does a really good job. Prusa, nice. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, well, we are that much closer. This is pretty bad. I don't have any real instructions. Just trying to make the best of it. like I said, that's already my biggest complaint. That's why I think I need to go a different route. I don't think that all my viewers would appreciate a kit of this magnitude. It's several hundred parts, and the instructions are for a machine that isn't even really in the same class, so I don't know. Might just be a build and a review. How you guys all dealing with the YouTube demonetization apocalypse? Yeah, this one's a challenge. This one's a challenge. Yeah, an MK2 would be awesome. That's like I said, if they give them away like they're talking, but if they blow them out, I might pick one up, because who wouldn't want an MK2? I want an MK2. It drives me nuts that my friend's got an Ultimaker 3 and I don't. So I'll get an MK2. But he has big money behind him. Damn you, Josh, and your big money. All right, so we got that together. This still doesn't fit the frame though now. That's what's weird, is it doesn't fit the way it says it's supposed to. So I think I got to make a change, which we'll do. So my Tron XYX1 extruder started going out already. It's not feeding, so I think I'm going to end up modifying that machine as well. It wasn't really designed for long-term printing, I don't think. They're kind of disposable machines, but get this one running. All right, we got that. All right, so I'm gonna have to take this apart and do this a different way, because the frame does not fit. They did a very poor job of designing the instructions. This is definitely a challenge for anybody that wants a challenge. What boards are you guys using for your builds? For the other project, I know not everybody loves Melzi boards, but I do love Melzi boards because they're so stupid simple. But I'm gonna go with ramps just because I've used so many of them and they're easy to program. All right, so let's do that right there. Anybody else using anything cool and new part-wise? I'm gonna do a budget build first, and then I think I'll build a high-end one, and I'll use the Lulzbot multi-extruder on that next project. Be kind of fun. Oh, sorry, somebody said something. Yeah. Oh, BuildTak Vertex. Yeah, let me know how that works. I'm interested in that too. No, I've only made a little bit of money on YouTube. It's not my focus. I do this for fun, and I suspect they'll continue to attack small creators because this big grab saved them $200 million. I mean, that's a healthy chunk of change. And there's no competition, so they can cancel paying people at any time. People use this platform in other ways to make money. I think that's really where they'll end up. They don't want to pay people, so if nobody comes up with a similar platform, then YouTube, I think, will continue to demonetize till they just don't pay anybody. They advertise on your channel for free, and I mean, where else are you going to go? Where else are you going to do this? They know it. They've got the market. They know it. That's the problem when they have total control of a market. But again, I do it for fun. I thought it was really dumb. I think it's going to kill a lot of the little guys that were putting a lot of time and effort into this channel, or into this into YouTube. Because if you think about it, Facebook has a much better platform. If Facebook monetized, they could kill YouTube tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see if they get any traction. That's the problem. I'd like to jump somewhere else eventually, but my friends are using Twitch for video games. I haven't really looked into it, but I'll probably survive here, but depending on what YouTube does, I'll probably move a lot more of my stuff to Facebook, though. Yeah. Mind is the new Facebook. Those guys got so much money, though, Facebook. I don't know how you'd ever compete with them. And they patent a lot of their social network ideas. So Facebook and YouTube, they have such a stranglehold on these markets. It's hard for little guys to break in and make money. So we'll see. I mean, I support anybody that's going against the big boys, especially how the big boys have been acting. All right, so I made an adjustment. I hope it works because the way the frame is set up, it doesn't correspond with the rules, with the original setup. So we'll give it a shot. No, it doesn't work. Still too long. Interesting. All right, well, I might have to chop saw some of my LMA 8 rails down because they don't fit. I'm gonna have to go back through and look through the instructions. Yeah. 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 Well, it seems to me that YouTube wants to become like a TV channel. They're focusing on their big brands, and to me that seems so stupid because what made YouTube was that you could go on there and find tutorials or opinion on pretty much any topic you want because they supported all that platform. And now that they don't support that platform, I don't know. I have a hard time thinking they're going to be able to survive. So I found the first real problem with this machine, and I might need to go and see. Maybe I just need to put a spacer in because the rods won't clear this, but I'm going to make an adjustment. That's a problem. Huh. Well, it very clearly shows it the other way, so take that back apart. That isn't going to work. Bummer, bummer, bummer. I had a plan. It didn't work out. I like these kind of builds, though. I've found that anytime I build a machine, I tend to know it better. It's easier to troubleshoot it. The only thing is the boards that it uses, I've never actually dealt with. It's the Makerspace MKS-L version 1. It looks like it's a combo of a ramps and a Arduino put together. And then it's got a really cool LCD screen display. That's kind of neat. I'm pretty stoked about that. And then, which is this one, it's like this, and then I believe it's a touchscreen even. Yeah, I think it's a touchscreen, and then it's got the SD card on back. So that's kind of cool. It's got some cool features. I mean, we'll see. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. All I know is my original plan to change this around isn't going to work, so I got to go back to the way I had it. I was hoping I could get away with changing it, but not going to let me do it. Luckily, I have a chop saw, so if I need to, I can whack these down. Maybe I just put spacers in them. Maybe that's the cheap way to do it. Just put a spacer in. So far, not terribly impressed. But maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised as I get it built. Positivity, you know? So far, I'm not scoring it very highly. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, so the rods don't fit the frame, so I can't square it up without cutting it. I'm gonna have to take a break here in a second. Maybe I'll do another live later on the build, but I've got to go see if I can chop this up so it'll fit, because right now it simply does not fit. So I hate cutting it, but it might be the only option I have. I know I should have worked on my regular my rep wrap today, but wanted to get this running so I can put some big projects I have coming up. Plus I need it because we're going to start producing parts for our CNC routers in the near future, and I really need the build volume. So the Z and X axes. No, they're not. They're not. And that's one thing I should look at. Maybe I got something backwards. Good point. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me measure that real quick, because that's a really good point. They look like they are, but that doesn't mean they are. 23 1/4. Oh, you are awesome, bro. I had them backwards. Oh, thank God you're here. I'd have figured it out eventually. Yeah, they're not marked. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I was like, wait a minute. That's a really good point. 3D printing nerd. He saved us. The German printing nerd. Yeah, you know what? I would have looked at it eventually. I wanted to take it apart, but when I got this, like I said, nothing is marked. The bolts are marked, but nothing else is really marked. So, a good save on your part. That's why I love our community, man. Like everybody, there's all these people that don't want to work with anybody. They're trying to keep a secret, and it's like, it's all mine and nobody else. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just work with everybody. There's like 7 billion people in this planet. We can all get along and work together and make it better. Yeah, the plans are just awful for this machine. Just awful. I am going to visit Germany at some point. When I do, I'll buy you a beer because I owe you now. I want to go metal detecting there. I do that because I'm a geek. But I like metal detecting, but there's all that old history you have there. We don't have any of that where I live in Utah. This state's only like, you know, 150 years old. And so you get over in Europe and Germany and stuff where you have like thousands of years of history, man. I would love to live in that place. Check it out. All right, so there's the rail. And definitely there is a noticeable difference in size. Again, thank you, my friend. You just saved me a lot of work. All right. What happens when your viewers are smarter than you? They catch you on things and say, "Hey, dude, you're screwing up here." All right, we'll make an adjustment. Try that again. I'll bet it fits a lot better now. Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, I can tell you just by looking at it the way that that I was falling up short that this is exactly what needed to happen. So good call, man. Yeah, that's... Oh, yeah. I'll tell you. All those years of engineering school and still have nothing to show for it. All right, we'll make the changes and we'll give that another swap and see if we can assemble it. Like I said, nothing was really labeled. I was going off of pictures, and the instructions that came with it are just terrible. They're just awful. It's not even the same machine. So it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. All right, so now we got the right sized rails. That'll probably make a real big difference. Would have gave me a couple more inches of build volume going on the Z-axis if I'd have done it that way. That's already fitting better. All right, get this all framed together. That one. That's fitting much, much better. Okay. I'm liking how this is going now. Hey, what do you know? It fits. All right. Mystery solved. Let me put this all together. tighten it up as I go. What is everybody doing today? You guys just playing in your shops? You guys working? I know Josh is working. What do you do for a living? That's what I want to know. Oh, nice. Retired, you lucky bugger. Wish I was retired due to a handicap. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Looks like you're making the best of it, though. Not lucky, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I had no idea. How did you end up handicapped? Doesn't sound like it very much. Euro's worth what? About $5 per euro, right? Roughly. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Well, I will give you a shout out when I get this, when I do the review on this for saving my bacon on the frame build. Appreciate that. Wow, that's way better. That's way better. Yeah, it totally fits this time. What did you used to work in when you got hurt? What field? You know, I have a... oh, no kidding? Kind of hard to get injured at a software company. You must have been in the manufacturing facility, huh? Or you were a hands-on CEO who had was out there with the workers. Yeah, makes sense. Hey, look at that, it works. Yay! We got it. That was, and now it fits perfectly. So 1 point to remember, the longest rods that come with the kit, because it doesn't specify that in the instructions, are actually the side rails and not the top rails like I assumed they were based on another kit that I'd built. So keep that in mind when you build this, if you build this. Yeah, like I said, I was going to do this as a giveaway. I don't think that's a very good idea now. I just don't think it's simple enough. I mean, a lot of people probably be just fine with it, but I think the average person would be kind of frustrated with this kit. Because I'm already frustrated with it. So... I find it's easier to swear at my parts and then they go back together easier. Probably not a good strategy. Oh, get in there, you ignorant piece of junk. Rover, how you doing, brother? You're a celebrity here. Grab my screwdriver set. Doing this the hard way. I have a screwdriver that's got like ratcheting action, and you can put any attachment you want on it. It just rocks. Okay. Well, that's already working way better. Those on. Try putting these towers back together. So how many of you are from the US? I think Rover and the German printing nerd, both German. I know Josh is an American. So it is now. This is how it's supposed to look. I haven't tightened everything up, but this fits perfectly now, if that makes sense. Oh, cool. The bed actually had somewhat clear instructions, so that one I'm fairly confident on. Could be wrong. I mean, we'll end up changing it out if it is. Just gonna loosely get everything back together now. All right, so that one's in. And that one's in. All right. Here we go. Doing better. There's a channel I watch. East Chicago. Okay, I grew up in Detroit. Been to Chicago a bunch of times. There was a time when Chicago was a lot worse shape than Detroit. Those times have passed. Chicago's way nicer now. Detroit's rough. Needs some money spent there and a little bit of care from their politicians. Michigan's in bad shape. Raised in Phoenix. Oh, awesome. I go to Phoenix all the time. Well, not all the time, but I've been there a bit. I like it. Oh, cool. Let me know when you do, and I'll share it. I'll share it for you. I appreciate all your help. I really do. So, we all need to help each other. I'd really like to get in on in fact, I've been thinking on my page at some point doing a big open source build where we all pick a part of the project and design it and build it, and then just use like a community to build another, basically a modern RepRap or something with a derivative of open source, because open source seems to be going away in a lot of ways, and it's really what drove this industry to where it is, was the open source guys, but open source doesn't make anybody any money, so they don't continue. And I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. So I should be building my CNC router. I've got a CNC router that I've been working on for the past couple of years, and we're going to be releasing that here pretty quick for Kickstarter. But I need this to make some bigger parts, so it's kind of the chicken or the egg story. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And I need the printer to make the chicken. So need bigger print areas. I gotta go check out your stuff. There we go. All right, so gantry is, I haven't tightened everything up. That's the worst, man. So this is what we're looking like. Nothing's tightened up yet, but we're getting there. We'll get there as we go. I'm not gonna sync everything up. I'm gonna come check it out, Rover. I'm gonna come check it out. Okay. This works a lot better. This is working a lot better. So we'll tighten that up. Not too tight, just kind of sync it up. All right. Pretty happy with that deal. Once again, my community saved my butt. Well, I think this is, I haven't put the screws in on these yet. I will later. But you can see the frame now mostly lined up. There's a little room to be tightened up and synced up and whatnot. But the frame is up. Which board are you going to use? Which did you say? Sorry, I had to. So I like the Melzi board. A lot of people don't. The only problem I have with the Melzi is that the heated bed, if you drive it off the wall wart, just the PC power supply, you'll be limited to how hot you can get. So if you do go with a Melzi, just know that your heated bed will be restricted. I do like the Melzi boards. A lot of people don't, but I do. They're simple. They're easy to work with. They're easy to program. I like them. You can always go with another power source too, and you go that route. Okay, so we're going to call this part 1. The frame is built. Okay. Are you going to do a heated bed? Okay, just know that you're limited by your voltage. Yeah. You can always run a secondary power source to your heated bed and just use the Melzi to... Oh, okay. Okay, good. Because the Melzi on my Tron X1 has the spot for the heated bed, but you don't have enough amps to drive both, so... Not with the wall wart anyway, so... Something to think about. Hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in and your input. We're going to call this part 1. I've got to go coach wrestling, so I'm going to take off, but I'll be doing more. I really do appreciate you guys' input. I'll go check out some of your stuff that you guys got going. Be sure to let me know in comments when you're working on projects, because I'll swing over. Sometimes I just get absent-minded, but I do like to be updated. Thanks, guys. I'll see you all next time. Like I said, I'll be back on. I do appreciate the support. Thanks.